Action.
Hey, I'm Mike Litzner from Coldwell Banker American Homes. I'm here with the Work Hard, Play Hard, and Give Back, a real estate podcast. I'm at the studio at American Homes in the inaugural recording event in Mount Sinai. I'm here with Sandra Caruso, our regional office manager for the Mount Sinai regional office. Sandra, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Mike, and thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So I'm looking forward to a really good show. I just want to remind our audience right now, if you like what you're seeing, please remember to like and subscribe. We'd love to have you see this episode and obviously many others as we continue to record. Oh, and by the way, you got to remember to stay for the end. We have the drop the mic question. We always have fun with the drop the mic question. So Sandra, you're an associate broker, branch manager. You've had your license for how many years now?
Since 2014.
So a couple of years, as they say, right?
Yeah.
So how does your experience selling real estate directly inform and train the agents in their training and guidance to them to help them, develop their own business?
Right. Well, I think, relating from experience is really the best thing you can do when you are working with the agents and encouraging them. It's one of the things that, makes it more real, even more so for the newer agents to the industry. I do like to reference, where
Right.
I started and,
yeah.
What that journey has been like.
Yeah. What's your favorite part about, engaging agents and, really managing an office?
My favorite part, number one, is the relationships I make.
Yeah.
It's important to know who people are as an individual instead of just looking them all as, under one blanket. I mean,
Right.
we are a team.
Yeah, and you got a lot of great agents here too. So.
I'm very blessed. I have a lot of great agents here. Were here before I came along.
Right.
One of the great things is seeing people grow, seeing people step out of their comfort zone, seeing people work toward, a future,
Right. So you manage two key offices, both Mount Sinai and Wading River, right? 10 miles apart. That's got to be a challenge, right?
It's some challenge, but at the same time, I love a challenge. I feel like that's what life is about. You lean into challenges. The office in Wading River was a completely different culture.
Yeah.
They were a mom and pop shop, as you know.
Right.
And, most of their business was, in their immediate market area in a 3 or 4 town radius.
Right.
And, that's been a great journey. Getting to know those people individually, that's very important, I think, for any leader, is to know the people on the team.
Yeah.
How you relate to people, you can't relate to everyone in the same way.
Yes.
And
I always like to say you don't treat everyone equally. That's one of those misnomers that is thrown out. You treat everyone fairly, but they don't all have the same needs. So you can't treat them equally. So you have to really adjust to them. And the only way to adjust to them is to get to know them, right?
Absolutely.
So that's a great piece of advice. Anyone who's thinking about getting into leadership, that's a nugget there. It's a great takeaway. So appreciate you sharing.
Thank you.
What do you think the biggest differences are in the two markets? You have Wading River on the east side and 10 miles east of Mount Sinai here. What are the biggest differences in the marketplace?
Well, when you go further east, you have obviously less population. So
Yeah.
you have bigger properties, you have beautiful homes further east.
Okay.
I mean, there are beautiful properties here too.
Right.
But I think that there's more real estate turning as you go a little bit more west.
Right.
A lot more transactions when you look at the market reports.
Right.
On one key, it's all evident. It's all there.
Well, it's when you have a higher population, right? So you have more houses.
Absolutely.
So we have more inventory.
More inventory.
So it's interesting. So does the Mount Sinai office sell closer to the Mount Sinai market, or are they more spread out as opposed to Wading River?
Mount Sinai is more spread out.
Okay.
So, and that's not just about a location thing, it's really about a brand thing. So Coldwell Banker, is widely recognized.
Right.
Internationally.
Yeah,
Absolutely. Yeah. And so when you go somewhere and you're coming from a company like Coldwell Banker, a brand, consumers know who you are. And I think that lends a lot more opportunity for agents being able to expand their marketplace and work in multiple marketplaces.
Yeah. One of the things I kind of like, it's like, I feel like the Mount Sinai office is a really centralized office. It allows you access, to so many different markets. At the same time, we have great visibility right here on 25A.
Yeah.
It allows us really to specialize in a diverse marketplace, and from the three villages on the north side all the way, east to the Wading River. So I think Wading
Right.
River, it feels like it complements Mount Sinai. So
What I'm seeing is that some of the Wading River agents have expanded their market area. And I think that's really important.
yeah,
It's important because you don't want to put your eggs all in one basket.
Right,
The
right.
market changes.
yeah,
And I think 2025 has overall been a little slower.
it's a flat market. The MLS stats, bear that out. So that's a
Yes.
factual statement. Absolutely. So,
Yes. And even with Mount Sinai, we sell in Coram, Medford, Patchogue. I mean, we're even further west. We even take listings in Nassau County.
Right.
And again, I think it's just one of the great things about our brand
yeah,
is that, we're recognized everywhere.
yeah, allows an agent to be more nimble, so to speak.
Yeah.
And really market and really play in the sandbox where their sphere of influence is, instead of everyone having to come to them. They can reach out much further.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And then, having 20 offices,
Right.
Coldwell Banker American Homes is a great thing.
Yeah,
All the offices are welcoming to other agents, which I think is a big benefit. So
Yeah.
when we're in another market area, we can meet with clients where they are.
so let me switch a little bit up here. So we have agent testimonials, which we can track. They're out on your website and what have you. And we looked at yours, and your agent testimonials consistently describe you as an excellent leader who makes managing look easy. And, oh, by the way, always encouraging. That's not surprising to me. I've met you when you meet Sandra, you'll know her personality. She's very upbeat. So what is your secret to maintaining such a positive, supportive culture, even in a high-pressure world of real estate?
Well, I think I absolutely am a people person. I've been that way since I'm a kid. I like to get to know people, even in my background with relationships and friends. I don't expect the same thing from every person, but, staying positive, I like to do things like meditate, spiritual, and I think one of the most important things in life is knowing how to communicate with people.
Yeah,
And, seeing people for who they really are and bringing out positive things. When someone's feeling low, you want to remind them
yeah,
of their great qualities.
yeah.
And that's one of the things I get to use in leadership.
Yeah, and I think you kind of touched on it a little bit. It's adjusting to the agent, because when you're in a high-paced, high-pressure business like real estate, and you're working on commission, sometimes the stakes are high, and agents will normally, reach out when, obviously they need help or something's going sideways, and it's that panicked, reactive, response, and adjusting, because you can't come at them with the same high-pressured response back. It's making them heard, and sometimes just diffusing them first, right?
Right. Making people feel heard or really listening to be more authentic is really important, and making yourself available to support other people.
Yeah.
Realtors are not just, people who sell real estate, they're people.
Yeah.
And for me as a leader, I have to stay grounded. There
Yeah.
are certain practices I do, like the meditation or just sitting in silence, and that helps me to clear my head and helps me to troubleshoot better when it's my own issue or if it's something with the agents, and I try to calm them down as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah. Now, having over 100 agents in the two locations, under your care and custody, so to speak, how do you pack that into, the hours in a day, the days in a week?
It is demanding. It
Yeah.
is demanding. But, I was well aware when I took this opportunity to go into
Right.
management that I was going to be on call. What I remember about me being a new agent
Right.
is that, I didn't want to call my manager after hours. I didn't
Right.
want to call her on the weekend. And here's how I feel. If somebody's calling me they're trying to put something together.
Right.
They need help.
Right.
And so being approachable and being available is very important to me.
Yeah. Now, for part of our audience who's not licensed, see, we have a really nice following of licensed agents and brokers, but we also have an audience of, consumers who are interested in real estate. So I don't know if they, from their vantage point, they understand the nuance that goes into putting a transaction together and or managing that transaction. So when we talk about the challenges, do you want to share maybe, a couple of industry stories, of what or unique stories of what we, has come up and how we've really attacked it or problem solved it?
Wow, that's a big question.
I know. I gave you a lot into that one.
Yes. So, for new agents, first of all, and I think this has a lot to do with your question, is training.
Yeah.
Education is really important. Coaching is really important. Coaching from me, as the manager.
Right, right.
And, I relate experiences with these agents as they're bringing me an issue. And then I can respond with, well, here's what I found, or here's what helped me.
Right, right.
And, the goal is, you always want to be a very good communicator. If you're working a troubled deal with another agent,
Right.
and you're not getting the cooperation that you should be getting, or they're not treating you respectfully, I think how we speak and the points we make it about the good of the clients.
Yes.
Is really always something to keep in the center of your mind.
Fiduciary responsibility.
Fiduciary responsibility, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
So Sandra, I think a better question would be is you're known as a fierce advocate for your agents. Can you share for our audience, from your perspective, maybe like, a crazy or fun story that's popped up or like a challenge that you had to kind of, meet and find a creative solution for?
One of the stories I had was an agent took a turn of the century listing,
Okay.
really cool house,
Yeah.
crazy seller. The house was on the market 2 years prior
Okay.
to them getting the listing. So I was doing a lot of coaching, with the agent to get the seller on board.
Right, right.
And the home was overpriced. That's no shock to any real estate professionals that are watching this. And so, I gave some suggestions, to the agent on what he needs to do was really clean up the curb appeal,
Yeah.
which was kind of a lot of overgrown shrubs, and, talked about the price. And the seller, said, well, I'll lower my price just a little. And it still wasn't where it should be.
Right, right.
So hence, there were limited showings in the beginning. And, I helped her have that conversation again with the seller.
Right.
And so the seller did come down. We were starting to get more showings on that listing. And we had another agent send her buyers to the house.
Okay.
And the agent...
Without representation.
Without
Oh,
representation.
I hate when agents do that. By the way, let me just say this to our agents listening. We have a fiduciary responsibility, and this is a service business. I hate when agents don't show up. We need to show up. It raises the professionalism of everyone in this industry. So big point here I didn't want to miss here.
Right. No, so true. So what wound up happening was this agent sent her buyers to come without her. Buyers seemed to like the house, and I was communicating a lot with this agent because this agent was newer to the business.
Right, right.
And I told, in my coaching, I told her, let these buyers take their time when they come in the home.
Right.
Do a guided tour and then give them space to walk around. She could see that the buyers loved the house.
Right.
So because the house was old, the agent submitted an offer, on behalf of the buyers, which was too low.
Right, right.
Seller was not having it. So I said, listen, here's what you should do.
Right.
Lower the price, not to the tune of the low ball offer,
Right.
do an open house weekend, Saturday and Sunday, and have the homeowner do an inspection
Okay.
in advance. So the agent did that. She encouraged the seller to have the home inspection done because we kind of had a sense that this agent was, gonna have her own buddy inspector come
Right, and renegotiate again.
and renegotiate.
Yeah.
So we needed to know that the home was in sound condition.
Right,
There were
right.
no major problems. And so what happened was that we did not accept, the offer did not get accepted,
Right.
her lowball offer. We lowered the price, but not to the
Right.
offer price, and then did the double open house weekend.
Right.
And then she was livid.
Did you get additional offers?
No, we didn't get additional offers.
Okay.
The price lowered. We did have more buyers come to
Right.
the open house.
So the-
But when she saw it, the thing was, when I was coaching the agent, the buyers really loved the house. She could see that.
Right.
This agent was friends with their mother, one of their
Okay.
mothers.
Okay.
And so she was fighting for the best deal.
Okay.
And then what wound up happening was we did the open house weekend, and she didn't want us to, move forward with it, which she
Right.
had no right to impose that expectation. And then what happened was she called up screaming.
So the buyer's agent tried to bully the listing agent.
Yes.
I'm shocked.
The buyer's agent tried to bully the list agent.
Yes.
And so then I got on the phone with the buyer's agent.
Right.
And said, listen, let me remind you that we work for the seller.
Right.
My fiduciary is to the seller. Yours
Correct.
is to the buyer.
Right.
So he has adjusted his price. We're entertaining other
Right.
offers.
Absolutely.
Right. So
did she finally
she-
back down?
so she yelled, screamed, hung up.
Don't you find it interesting that, like, usually the agent is wrong if they say something that's wrong and you call them out, they just say it again louder, and because you say it louder and
Doesn't-
and more demanding, doesn't make it right.
Doesn't make it right.
Yes.
100%.
Yeah.
And so, the factor of the matter is there's no reason to scream.
Correct.
We represent the seller. My
Right.
agent represents the seller.
Right.
Your buyers seem to really love the house. You work in their best
So
interest.
she was just upset that they finally had to concede. That they finally concede.
They did.
And then-
So the deal got put together.
Yeah.
And it all went through.
I think the interesting part, and this is what I think our audience wants to hear, especially if, like, there's someone out there who's not licensed. The real bread and butter of this business is service, fiduciary responsibility, transaction management, the nuance that goes into negotiations.
Right.
So it's really interesting. Sometimes when you get a front row seat here and see what happens, and how these transactions get made or not get made.
Right. Or, one of the phrases that kind of is aggravating to hear is, hey, when an agent says, I want to do a deal with you.
Right.
Listen, it's not about you and me.
Right.
It is about our clients. It's
Correct.
about representation and, living up to fulfilling our fiduciary responsibility
Yeah.
to them. And at the end of the day, we want to put a deal together.
Yes. I think agents need to stop trying to sell houses and continue or start helping people. Because when a buyer comes in and you show them a house and they don't like it,
Right.
it's not trying to sell them a house that they don't like. It's about helping them understand what their choices are in the marketplace within their price range,
Right.
that make better sense for them. And it doesn't matter which house they buy. If you're a good agent and you're hired by them, you get paid either way. So it's
Right.
not about the commission. It's really about helping them.
That's what separates, the top tier agents from some of the other agents who think of this as just a transaction. Really what it is, it's a relationship that you build with your client. And I think that's really the most important thing.
Yeah.
One of the rewards to that is referrals.
Yeah. I always say referrals happen by design, not by accident.
Right.
And if you hear this, there's no buyer loyalty anymore, and I don't believe that. I think there's loyalty out there. You just have to earn it. And
Right.
if you're not earning it, then you got to look in the mirror and say, what can I be doing better as an agent, as a licensee, to earn that? And how do I serve my client? How do I help them? If you put them first, it's amazing how karma comes back around, right?
Absolutely. And I really do have to say, in all honesty, I have such a great team of agents.
Yeah.
Just from their, own sense of self as a professional and a person, they understand fiduciary responsibility.
Yeah.
They understand, that when they're working with other realtors in the
Yes.
business, that you're both working to accomplish something good.
Correct.
And that really is the truth. So I really
Yeah.
don't have a lot of cases where we hear these crazy stories.
Yeah.
The agents here are very well trained and, have a great mindset.
Yeah. So the market in Mount Sinai and Wading River areas can be highly competitive. What's one innovative tool or training strategy you introduced in the offices that helps your agents stay ahead of the curve?
Okay. Well, again, leaning into our education, I think is really important. Communicating and knowing that they have me as an advocate
Yeah.
and someone as a sound barrier. Sometimes as you're, talking to your leader or they're talking to me and
Right.
they're conscientious of how they're talking about a situation, they're actually figuring it out
Yeah. Yeah.
just from, slowing down and listening to themselves and
Yeah.
getting a better picture.
Right.
So I think it's really just helping people to see things more objectively and more
Yes.
clearly.
Yeah. That's excellent. That's excellent. So at American Homes, we recently launched the Gemini Pro account for every agent, which is the AI accounts, right? Can you tell us so far, how are the agents reacting to that?
Yes, so I'm definitely seeing more excitement now.
Yeah.
I saw some trepidation
Yes,
with
it's always scary because
Yes.
you bring something new in, right?
Yes, you bring something new in. I think even more so for the more experienced agents who've been in the business a very long time, for so many years.
Yeah.
They were doing things a certain way.
Yeah.
And I found that in the past year and a half, there have been a lot of changes thrown at us.
Yes. Society throws
And,
that. It's
yes.
not just, us, but it's us trying to understand where society's going and where technology's, overlapping that and how it can best help us serve our clients better.
Right, and I think, with the company providing us with the suite of, Gemini Pro and
Right.
AI technology, they're starting to lean into it.
Yeah.
They're saying, oh, wait a minute, this is cool.
I was actually surprised with how well received Gemini Pro was from our agents so far.
Absolutely. And, that's exciting for me to see, too, as a leader when, they're embracing a new tool or a new way of doing business.
Yeah.
And it actually refines your business and helps them to manage their business a little bit better,
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
property descriptions or, brushing up on their bios.
Yeah.
It's exciting to see people who have been doing things for a long time a certain way
Yeah.
lean into this and see the benefits of it. And I think with all the training and the coaching we do at an office level and
Right.
at a company level, I think is very powerful and a positive influence in teaching them how to use it and knowing how to leverage it.
Absolutely. Congratulations first on being the champion of the newly constructed Mount Sinai office that we're sitting here at the studio at American Homes here in Mount Sinai. So you've been instrumental in the development of this massive project, brand new state-of-the-art building and facility from the ground up, no less. What was the most challenging aspect of being part of that project, and how does this new physical space empower the agents and clients in this region?
Putting this together or being involved into the making of this new building, obviously added more to my schedule.
Yes, it did.
And doing the videos with you,
Yeah.
that was a lot of fun. Also kind of pushed me a little out of my comfort zone.
Yeah.
I'm not so worried about vanity as much as, the message that we're putting out there. And, being in this building, it feels good every day to walk in here
Yeah.
into this beautiful environment.
I gotta say, I think I even sensed a little jealousy from a few other managers. This is a pretty nice space here, so if I do say so myself. So even though we've done a pretty good job in some of our other offices,
Yes.
I think we outdid ourselves. So if anyone's
Sure.
out there hasn't seen the office yet or would love to see it, I'd say reach out to Sandra. How do they get a personal tour of the office?
Sure. Well, first you got to call me.
Yes.
So my number is 631-946-0261. I'd love to give you a tour of the building. One of the other things you may not have seen as much in some of our videos is the patio outside.
Yeah.
And, we really want to embrace the community to, come in.
Yeah, we're going to have some nice events out there.
We sure are.
Now, we're also sitting here at the studio at American Homes in Mount Sinai. So how do you think having a space like this in the office can help your agents level up their marketing?
Oh, I think this is very important. I think video is a way for people to see agents as their authentic selves. This does not have to be a commercial. We're not making music videos. We really not yet anyway.
We have the dance routines going on yet? We'll dance for listings.
Yes, I'm going to get a dance instructor in here. There's plenty of space to learn a few moves.
Yeah.
But I think more importantly, I think people want to deal with real people. And we have great people. And, I think sending their message out through video and leveraging the studio to do that is only going to have a positive impact on their business, and it's also going to help build confidence. A lot of times people are afraid to step out of their comfort zone. But in this industry, I think you have to be forward thinking, and you have to embrace stepping out of your comfort zone.
So Sandra, we want to kind of pivot a little bit here because I know we covered a lot about work, but we always like to get to know the person behind the microphone a little bit too. But before we pivot to the play hard portion of our show, I just want to remind our audience, if you like what we're doing here, please remember to like and subscribe. We'd love to have you at future episodes. So Sandra, managing an office is a full-time job, right?
Yes.
Managing two, plus launching a new building, going through a move and making it look easy for the agents because they don't need to be bogged down in the minutia that it takes to go through this, right? So we've been through this marathon. Where does Sandra find time to relax? What does play hard mean, to Sandra Caruso?
Okay. Well, downtime in the summer, that's a no-brainer. Every Sunday, I head out to Montauk with my family.
Yeah.
We get on the road nice and early. Takes us about an hour and a half to get there, and we spend the whole day on the beach and looking at the ocean. We drive on the beach, so it's an easy setup. You don't have to carry anything. You just unpack, and everything is amplified when we're out there. The breeze.
Do you have a favorite beach out there?
Oh, yeah, Hither Hills.
Yeah, okay.
Hither Hills, that's where we go.
Do you need a permit to drive on that beach?
You do need a permit. It's a state permit.
Okay.
So...
All right,
yeah.
I know the Hills. That's a beautiful beach along there. That's the place.
Yeah.
That's the place out there.
That's the place out there, and my phone doesn't work that good out there, so I really get to unplug, and you can whale watch right from the beach. We see dolphin. We've seen seals. Walk the beach. I just let everything drop. Any stresses. I let it fall from the side.
So what is one passion or hobby that you have that people in the industry would be surprised to learn about?
My passion is serving at Mass. I absolutely love being a part of my parish. I love the people I've gotten to know over the many years that I'm there. I'm a lector and a Eucharistic minister.
Okay.
And so I just love participating in Mass and, reading, doing the first and second reading, and I just love that. It brings me a lot of peace, and
it's very therapeutic.
And it definitely grounds me.
Yeah. That's important. Obviously. So all right. So let's switch a little bit. So rumor has it you're an accomplished Jujitsu and Reiki practitioner.
Oh, yes.
All right. So what is the best takeaway you learned from engaging in those specific arts?
Oh, wow. Well, doing jujitsu, getting my
Yeah.
black belt, that was really a big deal to me.
Yeah.
It was, again, stepping out of your comfort zone.
Right.
When I first signed up, I would show up there in my white belt and white gi.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, I just finished serving dinner at home and cleaning up the mess. And the next thing I know, I'm with a room full of mostly men, and a lot of them younger than me.
Kicking and punching.
Kicking and punching.
Well, all right. Well,
flipping.
someone didn't help with the dishes. Now I know where you were taking that out.
Yeah, no, that was really great.
So you went through the belts. How many belts are there? You start with a white belt to
12 belts.
all right to get to the black belt.
Yeah.
All right. So that's
Yeah.
that's a path that you had to
Yes.
challenge yourself.
Yes. It was. I was training 3 times a week.
Okay.
I loved the training. It was extremely empowering. It helped me in a lot of other ways too. It helped me to build confidence, raise my testosterone up a little bit, which is, I think, a good thing.
Yeah.
You need to be fearless.
Yeah.
You have to have a certain amount of logical fear.
Right.
But I apply that to business. I apply it to my life.
Yeah. Now Reiki. Explain for our audience here what Reiki is, and it seems to me, from what little I understand, it's kind of the opposite of Jujitsu.
It is, Mike.
Yeah.
Reiki is energy healing,
Okay.
which is about aligning the chakras,
Okay.
and keeping them all balanced. Chakras are like spinning wheels of energy. So when people are feeling stress, illness, injury, some of those spinning wheels of the chakras may stop spinning. And so during a Reiki treatment, it's the laying of hands. You can put your hands directly on someone or just inches above
Okay.
them. And, you bring them to a deep, relaxed, meditative state on a massage table.
Okay.
And have the music playing and the whole,
Yeah.
vibe going. And I did a lot of demonstrations across Long Island. I took it into healthcare.
Okay.
I used to get a bunch of Reiki practitioners where we would facilitate guided meditations
Okay.
and a little bit of seated Reiki.
Are there a few agents that you think could use some Reiki healing or what?
For sure, for sure. So we actually did a few Reiki sessions at the office after hours in the old building, and I'm looking forward to bringing that back.
Yeah.
And getting some Reiki practitioners to come in and join.
So it was well received by the agents, huh?
Well received.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, part of being a Reiki master, I'm also an empath. So I can tell when an agent is having a tough time. And sometimes I'll invite them to step in my office quietly.
Yeah.
And ask them if they're okay.
Okay.
And usually that starts some tears flowing.
Okay. Yeah.
But you need to get that out.
Yeah.
And, work needs to be a safe place.
Yeah, very much so. I
And
like that.
your energy has to be positive.
I want to start switching to the give back. A big part of what we do at American Homes is, charity. We have a commitment to, being part of the community. So as a local leader in Mount Sinai, Wading River communities, what role do you play in the offices promoting local services to your agents?
Okay. Well, we're very passionate about giving back.
Yeah.
So Long Island Cares is a big one for us.
Good.
We're always participating in food drives or collecting food from some clients and agents. In fact, I have a bunch of food in the kitchen area that we'll be donating.
Great.
We did, one of the big hits was the bicycle Christmas drive.
Right.
That we did a few years ago. That was one of my favorites. All of our agents bought bicycles.
Okay.
They were having some really good deals at Walmart.
Okay.
And so everybody was buying 1 or 2, and we had a couple of agents that bought 3 bicycles.
Okay, nice.
And we donated 24 bicycles
Right.
to Angels of Long Island.
Okay.
Yeah.
Angels of Long Island is a non-profit.
A non-for-profit organization.
Yeah.
They have a big location in Patchogue.
Right.
And they also have one in Shirley. They serve a lot of communities. They're very well known We also do coat drives, and we deliver coats to them.
Okay.
We do a number of things.
Yeah, so they're like a liaison between community groups and the needs in the local communities.
Right. And they have a store where,
Okay.
people who are financially struggling can get things, used clothing
Right.
at discounted prices.
Sure.
Some of them don't have any money and they just get the donations.
Yeah.
So they're a wonderful organization.
Great. So in your experience, how does an office that is generally involved in its local community through volunteering and local support create a better environment for agents and clients they serve?
Well, I think it's important also for community to know that our agents are not just about selling real estate. We're about supporting the community.
Yeah.
And any way that we can be there to help make the community a better place, we want them to know that. We'll get them involved. When we're doing the coat drive, we'll say if you have any coats that you're need to get rid of, you need to
Right.
make room,
Yeah.
give them to us. We'll donate them on your behalf.
So are there any upcoming charitable initiatives that you're working on right now?
Well, right now we have the mitten tree.
Okay. Yes, I saw that coming in the lobby.
Yes, so the tree out there is a collection of all hats, mittens, and scarves
Okay.
that the agents purchased. We have a lot of them. They're all on the Christmas tree.
Yeah.
On Friday, Rosemary Costa, who took the initiative
Yeah.
on this,
That's awesome.
she'll be bringing them to the organization where they're going to be distributing it
Correct.
to
Yeah.
kids in need who need to stay warm this winter.
All right, that's great. Love that.
Yeah.
Love that. Now, did we have a dog adoption somewhat in the recent past?
Oh, yes. So dog adoptions are a big passion of ours. So
Yes.
we are going to continually do that.
Okay.
So that's more of a warmer weather type of event. So we do a lot of that. Right now we're going to be starting the coat collections. So
Okay.
that's coming up.
So if the
again.
community wants to donate coats for less fortunate, they can just drop them off here at the Mount Sinai office at 276 Route 25A, Mount
Yes.
Sinai. Give it a little shout out
Absolutely.
to help. We'll take donations on behalf of the community, as well as from our agents or anyone who has the ability to contribute, and we'll make sure it winds up in the right place, right?
Yes, we're also doing a toy drive.
Okay.
Toys for Tots. So
Okay.
we're always collecting.
Yes.
And food too. We'll take food donations. Donations are like underwear, socks for the VA.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of different things that we engage
So
in.
where do you get your ideas for the charitable things? Do they seem to find you, or do they come in through the agents instead?
Well, it's really a collaborative thing. We'll talk about that at meetings.
Yeah.
What we can do to help serve the community.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
so it's really a collaboration.
Great, love that.
It's time for the Drop the Mic question.
I just want to remind our audience, if you like what we're doing here, please remember to like and subscribe. We'd love to have you at future episodes. So, here's the question.
Oh, God.
So when someone pisses you off, what is your go-to move? An onion or a Big Mac?
I think the Big Mac.
I was thinking the Big Mac too.
Yeah, definitely the Big
So
Mac.
you shouldn't tell me these stories, all right? Because you never know where it's going to come back. But share, come on, let's have a little bit of fun. Why not?
Okay, I'm going to try to cut this story short. So this is going back, I'm going to say 30 years ago, 35 years ago. I'm driving down Middle Country Road, and there's, a lot of traffic. This young whippersnapper, who was younger than me at the time, I was young, but he was younger, he and his girlfriend cut me off, move into the left lane, I'm in the right lane, and I beat my horn, and I'm raising my hand, not my finger. So at every stoplight, we were exchanging unpleasantries. Okay, so now I say to them, I said, your girlfriend's a dog.
Okay.
So with that, at the next traffic light, I see her window going down, and I'm like, uh-oh. So now I'm buzzing mine to come up. She takes an ice cream and throws it at my car, hits hits my window, didn't hit me, and it's running down my car. And I'm like, oh, you want a food fight? Because I had stopped at McDonald's and had a Big Mac and fries in my bag. So while I'm driving, I got one hand in the bag. I got it on my lap. I'm unwrapping it. I take the top bun off. And now I can't wait to get to the next red light. Her window's open. They're laughing at me. And I just went, fwa, whipped it, hit her right in the face, side of the face with a Big Mac.
Oh my
So
God.
That's literally what a Big Mac attack is. And then it turned into a high-speed chase. And we're on Nichols Road. I'm terrified to go home. And I'm terrified driving at a speed that I never drove at before. So I actually drove to the 5th Precinct in Patchogue.
Okay.
And they were waiting outside the parking lot, and I go in and I tell the police officers I'm being chased, and they're like, what happened? And I tell them, and they're hysterical. So a police car escorted me home, followed behind me to make sure I was okay.
Okay. So is that the moment you decided to take up jujitsu? Self-defense?
No, actually, that wasn't an influence.
Yes.
I took jujitsu later on.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah.
There we go. So here's the takeaway lessons for our audience is don't mess with realtors. We're a tough breed. We're a tough breed. So, Sandra, I want to say thank you for joining us here. Thank you for allowing us to record our inaugural recording in the studio at American Homes here at Mount Sinai. So excited to see what your team does with the studio and the new location. So
Yes.
Congratulations on that and great luck.
Thank you so much. It's a great opportunity, and we all feel very blessed
Great.
to work under your leadership, yours and Tom's. You guys are amazing. So thank you.
Thank you. I'm here with our regional president, excuse me.
I just got a promotion, everybody. Where's the money?
Yes.